Hey guys, how y'all doing? I got a little update or a part two or whatever to that Hitachi nail gun with the whatever this is. This part that I was showing y'all before that like disintegrates itself. I guess the intense rocking back and forth, all the jolting from firing the nails, I guess it busted it to pieces. But anyway, I got the jug out of the gun. See how it looks more hollower than it did before? A little more hollower? A little more hollower. That's what the inside of the casing looks there when it's pretty much bare, besides the trigger assembly. Oh, you can get the shot there. Still a little dirty, but I've cleaned it out really well. That plastic thing or phenolic something or another piece of part there that I wouldn't be surprised is designed to bust apart and fill the pieces. This is some of it, probably about half of what I cleaned out of that compartment there. See this chamber here that jug goes into. Here, I'll show you. Make more sense if I. That's how it looked before. You see those little edges? When I showed y'all that in the video before, down here at the bottom. Oh yeah, that looks really nice now. Down here at the bottom was all just clogged and full of that. Clogged and full of that stuff. So I got this, I figured this jug type looking thing had to come out of here. So I just got the gun and set it on a stout surface, and I, this edge right in here. See the edge right here? That's the front of the jug, that guy. I just put the edge of the gun on a hard surface and gave it a couple of the tappy tap tappies around the edge, and this popped right out of place. And you can see here it's got this seal on the edge, so it's that's how it goes in the factory. It just pushes into place in there. And the other part, the back of the gun, this head here, it holds pressure up behind it so it can't go back out that way again. But I took everything after I got this out, it became incredibly easy, because I was wondering, I wanted to clean all of this. I wanted to clean all of this out of it and experiment with this nail gun, because we replace them quite frequently, and I'm really tired of the whole throwaway nation that we live in, and I was wondering if there was a way that I could make the nail gun a little more reliable, or at least know how to fix it easily, so I could take it home and do something like this with it instead of a $200 nail gun after $200 nail gun. We get lucky and replace them on warranty every once in a while, but you know, that doesn't go long. So I'm thinking, now that I know you can just pop that jug out, it made it really easy to clean all this out. I'm sure that junk was really clogging up the airways, how the air needs to move around in here for it to do its job, so I think it'll work better without that. Now the thing I'm wondering is this part. See, it like spins in here freely. I'm sure I can pop that out of there. And then this piece wouldn't be busting pieces everywhere. And I noticed that, see this metal lip? See my big fat finger? Yeah, you do. You see the big old fat metal lip? This metal lip is what makes the seat to this nail gun housing. And when you take this jug here, it's probably not what it's called, when it's inside that gun and it butts up to the front of this, see how it lines right up with that metal lip? So I've come to the conclusion that this stupid piece, what fills all the airways up with crap, hey, look at that, that wasn't hard to get out of there. I'm pretty sure that, oh, I mean, I'm pretty certain that it has nothing to do with this sealing to the gun housing or sealing to that jug piston chain cylinder thing. So, the only other thing that it could do, I imagine, see these big holes here. There's also those smaller ones in there. I'm sure that has something to do with the air transfer and making the compressed air slide that piston forward. So I'm thinking the only purpose this thing could serve, other than to fill it full of crap, is to make some kind of a funnel effect. I don't know if you're seeing what I'm saying, but before this thing was destroyed, it would appear it had some type of a cone shape, and you can see how it lines up and it sits up in here. And I'm thinking maybe that cone shape might be important to make it the air that moves in here, whichever way it goes, and make it move the way it needs to move. So I'll be interested to see if I can put all this back together. I mean, I know it'll go back together. I'm interested to see if, after I put it back together, if it still operates normally without this stupid part, because then the chambers won't fill full of crap. And then after that, I can just address the spring issue on the slide, which I already know what to do about that. And I fixed that on another one of these guns yesterday. And just like it is on here, there's usually a spring that comes up and it clips over this edge. Here's some examples. Springs. Here's one that still has the clip on it. And this is one that I took the clip off of because I was doing something with it. But I can already see it's not hard to address that and make it where this spring stretches up and hooks onto the end, whether you just put a screw in it or rob a spring from something else. I'm going to try to find it online. Maybe I can order that part fairly cheaply. That'd be really cool, because it's incredibly easy to change it. It's like 2 bolts to get this slide off, and then to get this out of the gun. If you take this cap off the back, this will slide right out. And you can slide a new one in and hook its little guy over the edge, pop it back into the gun, and be shooting nails in like 15 minutes. So I think I'll go ahead and start putting some things back together, and I'll let you guys see how that goes. Alright, I just popped the jug thing back into the back, which is just as easy as taking it out. It just popped right in and it just made a definite little click. Now we'll take our piston, slide our piston in, putting its firing pin into the slot on whatever the hell you call that, and then making sure we got our handy spiffy double spring. Oh, keep them together now. Need both my springs. Double spring action on this guy. And I think this is probably the whole trickiest part about putting it back together, is just lining. Oh, I don't have a video editor. I'm gonna look silly. I bet I start at the top, slide that down. Watch out for the double spring. You guys probably can't see anything past my hand. I'm gonna get that in the hole. What do you do after you get it in the hole? I don't know, you leave it there. Back over our double springs. And did I get it? Oh, there we go. That's what's happening. Ah, see? Just like that. And then you have your... That looks familiar, doesn't it? And that is straight on there. come back to the back side. Look how clean and pretty that is. It did not look like that to start with. From here, I can go ahead and put the back side on. This is kind of like the cylinder head. Now we put this deflector type doohickey deal with the gasket that doesn't work very well. This gasket's supposed to make all the air pressure that's being released blow out these vents up top, but it doesn't seal very well from our experience, so it blows out here and there and that way and generally whatever direction the ground and the dirt is. So you get plenty of it covered on yourself. Ooh. Proper placement of the gasket. Probably can't see it. Yeah. You see him not able to turn that bolt? My goodness. Can't believe this guy. Now we just gotta cap its butt back off. Now we've got the butt end sealed back off, and it almost looks like a real nail gun again. Adjuster turns and everything. Now this one's put back together as far as I'm going with it for right now, because the next step would be to put my track back on, my nail track, keep my nails on track, and it's just as simple as sliding up into place like a gun and bolting into that hole. But before I put that in, I'm going to address the not having a spring. And then as long as that weird and phenolic plastic with this thing, as long as the absence of this piece of garbage part doesn't affect us too bad, then I will have brought a Hitachi back from the dead. Let you guys know when I find out how that goes in the next couple days, whenever I have a chance to address my spring and bring it out to an air compressor and try it out. Till then, I appreciate you watching the videos.